Just learn how to suffer once and suffer in reality, and that's it. See, Seneca, one of the Stoic philosophers, he actually said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And the older that I grow, the more applicable I see that quote to apply throughout the events that have happened in my life. See, look, when I was a kid, I was a very pessimistic thinker. I used to think that like things are just not going to work out for me. And I would think about moments and events in my life that never happened or never were going to happen. But I just overthought it to the point where it was so real in my head that it brought me to tears. And I look back at my life and I see how idiotic that was, how foolish that was as well. Because there was no point in me having to suffer in those moments over events that had never happened. Now, you might be thinking, and your rebuttal might just be that, oh, well, if I overthink every single event that is going to potentially happen, then I could be the most prepared. Well, how much can you actually prepare for any type of event that is going to happen in the future in your life? You can prepare for some options that happen in your life, but you really can't prepare for everything bad that is going to potentially happen. And that is the thing. Even if your rebuttal is just that you tend to overthink because you want to be as prepared as possible, well, if you're just working on preparation, then why don't you just plan everything out? Why don't you write everything down instead of just being on the verge of tears all the time? Because I do think that it's just a cop out that we use to be pessimistic and just to continue our own bad habits as well. And that's what's always going to happen. And it makes us suffer so many more times than we actually need to. We make life more difficult for ourselves because we get in our own heads and we think about things that are not even going to ever happen in the first place. So learn how to just suffer once, because life is going to hit you and life is going to hit you like a truck. So you might as well just accept life and its events and its trials and tribulations when they happen in that moment. And then from there, you can go and tackle those situations and tackle those problems that life puts in your way. If you just go ahead and just think about, what am I going to do when X event happens? Well, you don't even know when X event is going to happen. You don't know the type of person you're going to be. You don't know any of the details that you potentially will need to. And if you're on the verge of tears, just thinking about life in general and thinking that things are not going to work out for you, I have found as well, and this is a side note, that the more we think about things, the more we overthink about things, and the more we analyze things and potentially plan out the future in a negative way, in a negative and pessimistic way, the less action we actually end up taking. And because of that, we end up making our own destiny, the destiny that we were so afraid that was going to happen in the first place. So it's really just a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see, if you want to accomplish something, if you want to get something, if you want to get someone, you have to just kind of go after it. You cannot just wait in your analysis paralysis, and you cannot just sit back and say, well, I need to evaluate all my options to the point that I'm just a ball of anxiety. And from there, you're just never going to take any action. So what's the point of overthinking? Because all it is doing is making you suffer more than you actually have to. What's the point in suffering in your imagination when you know that life is already going to make you suffer a lot? I say this all the time as well, that there's no point to overthinking. There's no point to making yourself think and making yourself anxious. Anxiety is something that a lot of people are plagued by, and I completely understand that. But overthinking can also induce anxiety. So even if you're not an anxious person in general, you can mold yourself to become an anxious person. And it's such a bad trait, to be honest with you. It's not something that I really wish that anybody would live with. So learn how to live in the moment, stop overthinking. And how do you stop? Well, you limit your thoughts. You tell yourself that, hey, it's going to be okay. Whatever I'm going through at the moment, it's a moment. It's going to pass. And I'm going to take it moment by moment, day by day, whatever smallest unit of measurement or smallest unit of scale that you actually want to focus on. Just focus on that. Take it day by day. Take it week by week. Take it month by month. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're going through a tough time, sometimes you just need to take it by every hour. So take that time, but do something with it. Don't just sit there anxiously waiting and overthinking about everything, because it doesn't do anything good for you. All right, guys, this is the end of the episode. If you like this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I make videos like this every single day. This was episode number 123 of the Daily Lessons podcast, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.